Welcome to GeorgeWay Math TV.
I learned that when it comes to word problems, I have to make sure I understand what is going on. That's it. That's the first thing. So let me try to break this down. Well, they're saying a chef is going to use a mixture. So there's a mixture going on of two brands of Italian dressing. The first brand contains 9% vinegar, and the second brand contains 14% vinegar. Okay. And then the chef want to make 390 milliliters of a dressing that is 12% vinegar. How much of each brand should she use? Well, how much of each brand should she use? So there's two brands of Italian dressing. And looking at this question, it's a mixture word problem. With what mixture word problems, I learned that I have to use a table. So how much of each brand should she use? And the mixture of two brands of Italian dressing, right? So I'm gonna have to first do this. I have two brands, so I'm just gonna put first brand. Let me just move on to this side so I can have more space. So first brand, and then I have second brand. All right. Why am I doing this? All right. I said first brand, and then second brand. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna clean anymore. So first brand, second brand. What is the amount of dressing and it's in milliliters? Amount of dressing for the first brand and for the second brand. They didn't mention the amount of dressing, and that's as a matter of fact, that's what we're looking for. So I'm just gonna put X for that, and then Y for the second one, because they didn't tell us anything about both. So that'll be for the first column, right? And then the second column, oh, what else did they tell us right here? They said the first brand contains 9% vinegar and the second brand contains 14% vinegar. So the amount of vinegar in percent, the first one is 9%, and then the second is 14%. Okay. And let's keep going. The chef want to make 390 milliliters of a dressing. So the mixture. So the chef want to make 390 of dressing. So this is the color for dressing. So the mixture is 390. Okay. That is 12% vinegar. So the mixture, on the end of this, it has to have 12% vinegar. So I have my 12% right here. But then they gave the amount of vinegar as a percent. But what is the amount of vinegar in milliliters, right? So we're going to have a column for that. The amount of vinegar, not as a percent, but in milliliters. And the way you can also, the way I know I can always remember is after I set up these two, mostly I'm multiplying this like that. So that would be the next column all the time. So I have X times 9%. And by the way, I got to change all this percent to decimal. So 9%, to get it in the form of decimal, you just divide it by 100. So I got 9 divided by 100 is 0.9. 0.9 right here. Oh no, 9 divided by 100, I didn't do it right. That's 0.09. So I'm going to just change the whole thing. Then 14%, 14 divided by 100 is 0.14. And then I got 12%, which is 12 divided by 100, and that is 0.12. So I just change all these right here to decimal. So again, we just multiplying like that to get the amount of it. We know the percent is 9%. And the amount of dressing is X. So if you want to figure out what the percent is in milliliters, this is the total amount of dressing right here. So if you multiply by the percent in vinegar, the percent of vinegar, you're gonna get it in milliliters. So that's why it makes sense to multiply like that. So x times 0.09 is 0.09x, and then y times 0.14 is 0.14x, and then 390 times 0.12. 390 times 0.12, that is 46.8. And I know that when I get to this point, I'm always going to be using this side and that side to solve for the question that I'm being asked right here, which, by the way, for each brand, they want me to solve for x and y. And this, by the way, is going to be my first equation, and that will be my second equation. And I'll just use the system of linear equations to do it. So the first equation, I have x plus y, because when you add these two, you get 390, equals 390. Equation number 1. And I got 0.09 x plus 0.14 x. I mean 14, it should have been y, because this times y should be 0.4 y. So 0.14 y equals 46.8. And that's my equation number 2. And I can use, normally you should be able to use the substitution method. So I should be able to use substitution method here. Alright, so that means for this first one right here, if I'm using substitution method, I can just solve for, let's say I'm solving for y right here. So if I'm solving for y here, I got x plus y equals 390. So I minus x on both sides. So my y equals the 390 minus x. So that is my y. And substitution method, you can just plug in this one into the other equation. So I'm going to plug it into this equation for the y. So I got 0.09x plus 0.14, and my y, I have 390 minus x equals the 46.8. I'm just going to go ahead and solve for my x. So I'm going to distribute here. So I got 0.14 times 390. And that is 54.6. And then 0.14 times x. So I got minus 0.14x equals 46.8. And then I'll just bring this down. Apply the 0.09x. And then on this side of the equal sign, I should be able to combine like terms. I'm going to go ahead and combine these two. So I have 0.09 minus 0.14. And that gives me negative 0.05x. And then I'm just going to bring down the plus 54.6 equals the 46.8. I'm solving for x, so I want to have this by itself. So I'm getting rid of this by subtracting. So minus 54.6 on both sides. This is gone, so I got negative 0.05x equals 46.8 minus 54.6. And that is negative 7.8. And I'm solving for x, so I just divide by the negative 0.05 on both sides. So that cancels out. So I have x equals negative 7.8 divided by the negative 0.05. That gives me 156. So again, my x is 156. Let me just write it here so it'll be more clearer. So my x, I got 156. So that was for the first brand. The first brand right here. That the x is what? I got 156 right here. And the second brand, which is the y, to get it, I just plug it into any equation. So let's say I plug it into this one right here, right? I got y equals 390 minus x, and my x is 156. So I plug in the 156. So y equals 390 minus 156 is 234. So for the first brand is 156 and the second brand is 234. And that's it. Now it's your turn. I want you to practice some of these questions on your own. And to be able to get it, that's how it works. The more you practice, right? That's how you're going to get it. And I know you're going to be fine, alright?
Please don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell to be notified for new videos, and share.